All right, time for a CONCACAF Champions League edition of Good, Bad, and Ugly, Herc. We'll start with the good, the performance of MLS teams in the first leg. We got wins from New England, New York City, Seattle. We'll start with Seattle, who beat León 3-0 at Lumen Field on Tuesday. A couple goals from Freddy Montero, one in the 31st, one in the 39th, and then Jordan Morris in the 90th. New York City beat Comunicaciones of Guatemala 3-1. That game played in Connecticut. Tati Castellanos, Maxi Morales, and Santiago Rodriguez, your goal scorers. Then New England in the snow, smashing Pumas by a final score of 3-0 in Foxborough. Goal from Sebastian Lletget and a couple from Adam Buxa as the Revs run roughshod. All right, Herc, it was a pretty good midweek for old MLS teams, but who impressed you the most?
You gonna cry when I say it?
No, because I'm not surprised when you turn this into another edition of Sounders TV.
I mean, are you seriously gonna tell me it's not the Seattle Sounders? This game could have easily been 6-0, if not 7-0. If not for Rodolfo Cota, the León FC goalkeeper who stood on his head, he was ridiculous. But the Sounders created chances everywhere. And not only did they create chances, they did it against one of the better teams in Liga MX. One of the best teams, I would say, in the last 3 years, one of the most consistent teams. And they did it without Nicolás Lodeiro and Raúl Ruiz-Díaz. They got 2 goals from Freddy Montero. Freddy Montero's as old as I am. My man's still racking them in. How is that not the most impressive thing you've seen? The Seattle Sounders, who are struggling in Major League Soccer. 2 losses to open up Major League Soccer without their best goal scorer, Raúl Ruiz-Díaz. Just put a can of whooping on one of the better teams in Liga MX. Listen, I don't know how that's not the most impressive thing you've seen, and you could call it what you want, Sounders TV, but that's just the plain truth.
Yes, very impressive. Everybody's, I think, wins were impressive. New York City FC basically won away. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But they also had a little bit of a hiccup getting to scored on the hour mark, and then they responded with 2 goals in 10 or 15 minutes, so that was pretty impressive. New England, I think they ended that series. That's why I think what they did is pretty impressive. I don't see Pumas coming back. Yes or no on Seattle León? Is it over, or do you still think León has a chance?
It's not over. I think León's very capable of making it very interesting.
All right.
Honestly, I don't think there's anybody who's going to count out León, especially given the Sounders' history in Mexico. I should know.
So we didn't go all the way there on Sounders TV. All right, let's get to the bad then, the other side of the coin, which is obviously the Liga MX performances in the first leg. They got outscored 6-1 by MLS teams on Tuesday and Wednesday combined. Cruz Azul was the only team to win, Herc, but even them, it wasn't impressive. They won just 1-0 against Montreal at the Estadio Azteca, the only goal coming from Uriel Antuna in the 20th minute. León, who were 5th in the table, you just saw it. They lost 3-0 to Seattle. Pumas 8th in the table. They lost 3-0 to New England. We got second legs coming next week. Herc, of the Mexican teams, which squad do you think had the worst first leg performance?
Cruz Azul was very wasteful, weren't they? León was horrid. They could have 8-7. But hear me out. It's Pumas. And you just said it. That series is pretty much over. When I think about Pumas, I think about the financial hardship that they've had over, I don't know, the last 3 years, if not more. This is a very depleted roster. When you look at the roster 1-25, I would argue, not in 1-25, when I look at the 1-11, the starting 11, I would argue that besides Comunicaciones, they're probably on the lower end of spending of the teams still in this competition. And I'd also argue that they don't have enough players to play in 2 competitions. And midweek, they played against New England, got trounced. And now they got to go play against the Cruz Azul in a crucial matchup. And then play again against New England. And New England, with that offensive firepower, if they score 1, Pumas have to score 5. I don't see where they can go from here. They can win, sure. But you're trying to tell me that Buxa, Gustavo Bo, Carles Gil, Sebastian Lletget, and then Josie Altidore can't score 1? I think this series is over as well, Seb.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's a bad one. I think Cruz Azul's, though, needs to be analyzed a little bit because they really, as you said, were extremely wasteful in this game. They had 19 shots, Herc. 19. 2 of them on goal. They only win 1-0, and now they're going back. They're not going back to Stade Saputo, huh? They're going back to Olympic Stadium, and Montreal plus Olympic Stadium plus CONCACAF Champions League, always a recipe for a special night. So Cruz Azul may not have had the worst performance. They might end up really regretting those missed chances, though, at the Azteca
Happened
against
to Santos
Montreal
as well that way.
All right, what about this? The ugly, and I think this one's pretty obvious. it's the attendance. In a couple places specifically, one in Connecticut, where New York City did draw a large crowd. We should give them credit. The only problem, it was mostly Comunicaciones fans. And then at Gillette Stadium, where the Revs beat Pumas in front of a sparse crowd, and as we mentioned before, in the snow. Herc, any thoughts on the poor attendance?
Oh, come on,
at least from MLS fans at these
give
games?
my good friends in New England Revolution a break here. It was snowing, man. Midweek snow. You know what? I'm not worried. I know people are worried about this with New England. I think a new stadium fixes all this. I think they've got a very good team. A new stadium fixes all this. I'm not worried. I'm a little worried about not New York City FC. I'm a little bit worried about Major League Soccer and the inability, to reach certain sectors, certain fan sectors. These people that came to this stadium, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking to myself, why are there football lines on Comunicaciones' home field? This is not a joke. And then I realized it's Hartford, Connecticut. I realized this was the neutral site. I realized Leg 1 was played here in the States. Why can't Major League Soccer reach these fans? Because I'm sure these fans have different teams that they root for, whether that be a Spanish team, a Premier League team, a Mexican, whatever they want. Why can't they root for Major League Soccer teams? Why is this consumer, this huge consumer, this Latino consumer that they keep trying to vie for, that they trying to do everything? I mean, they hire consulting firms, it seems like every single week, to find out what they can do. Why can't they reach this sector? These fans came out midweek in the freezing cold to support their team, a team they cheer for, a team they wanted to see. Why can't they come out to the New York City FC games? Why can't they come out to the Red Bull games? Why can't they come out to the New England Revolution games? How come you can't reach these people? That's why, for me, this is poor.
You're talking about marketing. I think CONCACAF probably, as far as attendance goes, could market this competition a little bit better. I don't think it gets quite the shine that it should. I think the other point here is, we have a lot of friends because ESPN is based out of the Connecticut area. A lot of them had an interest in going to the game. I heard the tickets for this, Herc, really, really expensive. That's not going to help you midweek, and that's not going to help you in the cold if the ticket is expensive. You're making it really, really hard for people to get into a tournament that could be really great.